right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with Thahn Lee. Thahn, how we doing, my man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, this is definitely an honor. I'm super stoked to have you on. And Thahn, man, you just had a fight not too long ago. Talk to us a little bit more about your performance and what's maybe next for you, my man.
Yeah, obviously a tough fight. Ended up getting knocked out by Tankai, my little arch nemesis, but he's got the featherweight belt. I think unless I get it back from him, I think he's going to hold on to it for a long time. The dude's good. He's comes from a great team. But yeah, it was a tough performance. Obviously wasn't happy with that, so we're back sharpening tools, ironing out game plan options, game plan A, game plan B. So just really making sure we try to tighten all the screws and make sure any holes that we saw in the fight get filled. So really being in this game and being the best version of myself is what it's all about. So I'm truly grateful for opportunities like this. It's never pretty to get a loss, but the I tell you, the few losses that I have had, I've learned more than any other experience I've ever had in martial arts. So you take away so much from those if you approach it the right way, and I think we try to do that. So
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And with you fighting over in one championship, I mean, how do you like fighting over there, and how do you think the promotion is treating you?
I enjoy it. I really like the weight cut protocols. I think they're still ironing out things that kind of foolproof the idea behind it. The concept behind it's wonderful. It's You always get the guys that try to game the system a little bit, so that's always a little rough. But for the most part, I feel like most guys that I've fought have been genuinely like my size humans, right? Like true featherweights. So it's pretty cool. We don't have to do all the extra water cut. We get hydration tested before we step on the scale, and then we do our main cut and our main weigh-in. I'm sorry, and yeah, I like it. I like the way it makes my body feel. I like, especially being a little older in this game. It's always nice not to put the stress on the kidneys, so it's uh it's cool. I like it a lot. And then yeah, like the promotion's been good. We've worked our way up from not being in the promotion at all to ended up getting the belt after a few fights and defending it and all that good stuff. So it's been a good run. It's been very I enjoy the adventures. Let's say that. Every time I fight, I'm halfway across the world. So awesome places like Bangkok. You make a pit stop in Phuket. Fighting in Indonesia, you make a pit stop in Bali. With the Gili Islands right off of Bali, it's been really cool to be able. And then obviously Singapore is another hot spot. And then we just left Qatar, and that was one of my favorite places to fight in. To be honest with you, I didn't expect the hospitality and the amazing everything, really, food, scenery. It was wonderful. It was one of the better experiences I've had, um, being out there. So that was great. We spent a little extra time, another I think 5 or 6 days out there just to check it out, since we were on that side of the planet anyway. And it's we had a wonderful time.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad you had a wonderful time, man. That's definitely some good news. And when it comes to that one championship title, man, I mean, how heavy is that thing, man? And what did you do with it after you ended up winning the belt? Do you still have it at your house or anything? What did you do?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. We've got, I think, one, two, three in total, and the newer belt is enormous. It's heavy as shit. I think it's like 27 point something pounds, and it's extremely heavy. And I think they did it. They made the weight the exact weight of a gold bar. So that was kind of cool. Little fun fact that I learned. But yeah, I'm hanging. They're both hanging up at the gym. I've got one at my sister MMA gym that I've been training at since I started MMA. So yeah, we're kind of spread the love a little bit, but they're hanging up at the gyms.
That's awesome, man. That's definitely pretty cool. I had no idea that there was the same amount at the gold plate, like you mentioned. That's pretty awesome. And man, when it comes to like training stuff, you've obviously trained with Ryan Hall. I mean, what's maybe some of the coolest things that he's maybe taught you?
Man, it's I had the finish of the 50-50 inside heel hook, the fight before this last one. That was all him, obviously. That's a he's the best guy on the planet in that position. And man, he's really shown me so much about martial arts in general. Uh, he's helped my striking game, obviously my grappling in all aspects, wrestling, judo, the grappling from top, grappling from bottom, grappling with punches. Man, it's been it's almost it's jaw dropping how much you don't know what you don't know until you start learning some of the crazy basics but essential things from somebody that is the best on the planet. You know, it's awesome to be around that. Trying to pick up as much as possible, seeing how he trains and how he's learning different things, and trying to incorporate that as much as possible. As much as you can while remaining yourself. It's tough to juggle, but it's awesome being in that environment in his gym at 50/50. He's got such great training partners, students that he has, and he brings in a ton of people. So it's been phenomenal. That's where I met a buddy of mine, Corey Sandhagen. I'm gonna run from this wasp real quick. There we go. That climbed on me. But and that's where we met and we're training and everything for this camp. So it's just been a great experience and all.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad you've been having a good experience. Ryan Hall is definitely the man. And with you having that Taekwondo background, man, I mean, what's maybe some of your favorite Taekwondo kicks you like to practice?
Man, I big spinning kick guy. Like the spinning hook kick, and that's that along with the mobility, like the capability of being able to move that taekwondo style, like being up on the balls of your feet, being very mobile, being able to dart in, being able to bail and switch stances. Like some of those are some of the skills that it's just irreplaceable, and it's something that I'm on my guys at home about, making sure that they incorporate into their game. They don't have to be a taekwondo guy. They don't have to move like me, but you need to have certain things that Taekwondo taught me, and switching stances is one of those things. Always being in base, being able to generate really good power, disconnecting and reconnecting to the floor and the earth when you need to. Those are really important pieces of that art that I've brought over, and I think we incorporated really well. And I think you'll see guys like one of my idols and one of my coaches, been my brother's idol, is Roy Jones Jr. and the way he moves his feet and shoots, his darts and his crosses, and he leaves the ground, and it's he's breaking the rules and it's unorthodox, but that's part of the Taekwondo style movement as well. So it's incorporated well into our game.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, man. That's pretty cool. You said spinning hook kick. My Taekwondo instructor, that's actually his favorite kick too. So it's funny that you said that.
It's hard. It's hard to skip that one, man. That's the money shot.
100%, man. Mine's a jump spinning crescent kick. I love that kick, man. It's a lot of
Ooh,
fun.
okay. I
Yep,
like it.
yep, yep. And when it comes to you, man, obviously, I like to ask every Taekwondo guy this. Why do you think the side kick isn't used too much in MMA?
I use it like that John Jones. I call it John Jones oblique kick. I use it a ton. It's essentially just a side kick to a lower target, right? But the way you use it to corkscrew, to generate power, to structure yourself bladed. I think being bladed is the main issue for a lot of people. They're so ready to be squared up, kind of like a more of a boxing or a Thai stance, where they're more square, and they can release both sides weapons, right side, left side, front side, rear side, and that does give you certain things. But then you see guys that stand a little more bladed, like the MVPs and the Wonder Boys, who fit in those side kicks, and it works phenomenally well. Obviously, watching them, and then they still fit in their rear weapons, and they're still able to dart in, stay protected, shielded. But that bladed stance is really what kind of goes hand in hand with, the sidekick style kicking. And it's just you don't see a ton of that in MMA, but man, it's useful, and I love it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a fantastic kick. I wish it was used more. And
Mm.
when it comes to your tattoos, man, they're pretty sick. I mean, talk to us a little bit more about some of your favorite tattoos you got on you.
I appreciate it. I have like this. Let's see if I can get the camera right. This right side little sleevey action, and it goes into my chest and my ribs, and that's more of like a robotic. The skin's peeling away. The idea was like having bomb in my rear hand, that exploding, and then like tearing off the skin in my chest and my ribs. And it's showing like the robotics underneath. So that was a cool little idea that I had, and we worked with that for a long time, and I love that one a lot. Another big one is the old symbol, the old logo for the Taekwondo school that my dad had. That was a big one as well. And then of course I got some stuff for my kids on here, so that's always important ones, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%, man. No, this is definitely pretty sick, man. Like I said, my karate teacher, and you would be some good friends. He's got like a tattoo on his back with like a beast kind of coming out of his back. It's almost like the same kind of idea that you
Oh,
kind
that's
of
pretty cool, man.
yeah, yeah. So
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty sick. And with you, man, when you're training and stuff too, obviously you got like some gyms and stuff. What's maybe some of your coolest things about like having a gym?
Man, it's interesting. Transitioning from like being the, quote unquote, like star fighter and then going into coaching mode and instruction mode is pretty cool. I've taught ever since I was younger, like I grew up in a martial arts household. I grew up teaching Taekwondo ever since I was young adult, 16, 17, whatever. And even before that, doing summer camps and things like that. So I've always really enjoyed trying to, pass knowledge on in the martial arts world. And being a gym owner is interesting because you kind of have to wear all these different hats. You've got to, if you can't be the weight cutting expert, you've got to find the right guy. If you can't be the warm up expert, you've got to find the right guy. If you can't answer this type of question, that type of question, it's my previous experience has helped me a lot, not only in martial arts and teaching and stuff, but like being a small time manager in different retail stores and things like that kind of help you like delegate, hold people accountable for certain things. So all those things are really important as far as being a coach. You're kind of the one stop shop for a lot of guys. So I'm definitely not the guy that will give you information if it's not tested and personally experienced for me. So I'll definitely do a good, I think do a good job of reaching out to all of the other experts and trying to get those guys to give my fighters like the right information, the right approach to whether it's weight cutting, strength and conditioning, or building techniques.
Yeah, yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, man. And when it comes to your summer camps and stuff, what would you typically do to kind of have fun with the kids or whoever?
Man, we did a lot of we did a lot of reckless stuff, but we did a lot of dodgeball, that type of thing. Tag, the basic games, but really working. Really, it incorporates a lot of footwork, a lot of movement, a lot of juking, a lot of left to right movement, like playing those movements like those ball sports that get you to juke left and right, or a crossover in basketball. Like mixing those things, anything that'll build those separate skills is phenomenal for fighting. And obviously, we've seen the more athletic you are, the better it is, just in general, and in life and happiness and getting old. Like it's just better. So always building things like that. Dodgeball was a big help with that, and that was a huge core memory of my summer camp days was pelting these kids in the face with dodgeballs.
Yeah, that's one way to get them back on track, some of your classes, right?
Exactly. I like the way you think.
Fair enough. And when it comes to you, man, and your fights, have you maybe had like a set timeline on maybe when you're thinking of coming back?
No, nothing yet. I'm obviously I treat concussions and any kind of head trauma pretty seriously since A, because I'm a little older. I'm old as shit. But B, because like that, getting into this game, that was one of the most important things. Is like, hey, look, if it starts getting into the scenarios where we're one of these fighters that are leaving chunks of their life in the cage, fight after fight after fight. I don't want to fight like that. I don't think that is the best way to fight. I'm trying to accomplish that with the style of fighting that I do, but obviously my style of fighting might not be. If I didn't get finishes, it might not be the most exciting way to fight. But that's not why I'm in this game. I'm in this game to be the best possible fighter I could be for personal reasons. Obviously, I'm trying to accomplish a lot as far as titles and taking care of my family and making some money and things like that. But first and foremost is protection and being able to spend time with my family and kids and grandkids. And I don't want to walk around here being half of who I was just because I wanted to make a, a couple million extra dollars. That's not worth it to me. So um, spending time with the family, making sure that everything's good as far as any kind of concussion issues, all those protocols. And then once that happens, I'm back in there. And even before something like that, I reach out to the guys and maybe we do a grappling match in the meantime. Stay busy, stay competitive, work on some skills that weren't my A game, and test this black belt out and see if I can do some things.
Yeah, that would definitely be sick. I would definitely like to see test out that black belt. And when it comes to the Dana White Contender Series, man, I mean, talk to us a little bit more about that experience and like maybe some cool behind the scenes stuff that maybe a fight fan might not know about.
Yeah, that was a really cool experience. I got out of the Ultimate Fighter, had a couple of fights, and then got the call to to do the Contender Series fight, and that was a great opportunity. I thought performance went well. Um, ended up getting the knockout in the second round with a head kick. Um, didn't get the contract. That was a little upsetting, but the everything UFC related is always pretty pleasant, man. Like the tough experience, the Contender Series experience, all that was great. They treat you right. They make sure you feel like a pro athlete. That's something that was different. That's really cool. I've never experienced until up to that point, obviously. Um, and being able to kind of see the UFC guys in action, and you get to see Dana and the matchmakers, and talk to them for a little bit, and kind of see what they're about, and how they are off screen. That's always interesting to me. Watching famous people off screen and see how they act, and seeing Faber and McGregor when they were off screen talking to each other and going back and forth and stuff like that was really cool too during the Ultimate Fighter experience. So all of those things were a great experience. I learned a lot from those guys as far as just being around them in the same room, listening to them talk, seeing how they carry themselves, how they approach things like coaching on a fight day, coaching a person who's having a hard time cutting weight, just things like that, little bits and pieces that you're going to need in the future, and might not be the most important thing to me at the time because I'm the fighter in there trying to win fights, but you keep those things in the back pocket and you learn a lot from these guys. They've got a lot of
Yeah.
experience, so it's cool to kind of take some of that for you.
Yeah, no, that's definitely pretty cool that you mentioned like seeing how those celebrities act off camera. I think that's an interesting little perspective that you
Yeah.
mentioned. And when it comes to the Ultimate Fighter, is there anything like on the show they didn't show that you're like, man, I wish they had that on the show or anything like that?
Um, what's funny is I didn't even fully finish watching my season. I was there obviously, but I didn't get to watch the actual episodes. But up until that point, um, they put some emphasis on obviously some controversy and some arguments and fights that they might have had in the house that weren't sanctioned. But the guys generally got along pretty well. Being in a house with whatever it was, 16 dudes is not always easy, especially when everybody's trying to fight each other. Um, and then, having the whole US versus Europe thing was interesting. Just seeing everybody's customs and the way they're used to living, and I don't know, washing dishes and flushing toilets, just weird, just different. So it was cool kind of being exposed to that. But yeah, I wish you guys could have seen a little more because maybe it doesn't sell as many views as the fights and the drama. But seeing the guys get along and play poker, and the Americans try to play a little soccer and the Europeans try to play a little basketball. It was ridiculous both ways. So
Yeah, no, that's definitely pretty interesting. I didn't think about that, man. That's definitely some cool experiences, man. And
yeah,
one thing about me, man, is I'm a Taekwondo instructor myself. I've been training for 19 years now. I started when I was 5 years old, and been teaching for 6 years. So I love martial arts, man. And when it comes to all the guys I got at my gym, what advice do you give to them to keep on coming into the gym to keep on getting better and better every day?
man. Well, I'm gonna do this because it's an inside joke with my guys at home. But if I gotta say anything to you to get you coming in the gym, then this ain't the life for you. You know what I mean? But really, it's true. If you don't love this, it's gonna be real hard to be really successful in here in this sport because it's unforgiving, man. You run into a lot more lows, honestly, than highs. I feel like I've had a pretty successful career, and damage free as far as like injuries and brain trauma and surgeries and things like that. And it's still, man, still more lows than it is highs. But man, when you get those highs, there's as high as it possibly could be. You know what I mean? So you gotta love it. Love the sport. Love learning. Love martial arts. Love the experience of fighting. Those are like three very completely different aspects of the game. Um, so that's I think that all has to be encompassed in like love the sport. You've got to love training every day. You've got to love like being uncomfortable and putting yourself through pain, and making yourself uncomfortable and miserable. And you hear that from all the Instagram posts, but it's a real thing when it comes from somebody who really does it. You know what I mean? That's a big one. And then loving fighting itself, that experience of walking out, being nervous, people watching you, spotlights on you, everybody's watching you. Can you do the thing you said you were going to do? And that's I think my favorite part. Like, watch me do this. No, seriously, stop doing what you're doing and watch me do this. Like, I enjoy that part of it, you know. And if you love it, and if you love all aspects, I think no matter what, you're gonna be unrealistic as far as when you're gonna give up. And that's what champions are made of. Is you just don't have an off button. You don't have an off switch. You just keep going and being consistent and taking the beatings. And then, man, the sun rises and you see the daylight and you're like, man, this was all worth it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely an awesome message, man. I'm definitely glad you said all that. And when it comes to messages, man, what's maybe your final message out there for the fans watching this video?
Oh man, that's a tough one. You put a lot on my shoulders there, but really, one way or another, put martial arts into your life. It's changed my life. It's not changed my life. It's made me, literally made me who I am. It's changed my family's life. It's such a great piece. Whether you make a career out of fighting, which is very few and far between, or you make career out of teaching or making it, just something that your family does together. Martial arts is literally one of the best things on the planet, and I want everybody to have at least a little taste of it.
Yeah, no, that was awesome, man. You're definitely a good dude. I'm always stoked to have every fighter on, but like I said, with your Taekwondo background and everything, I was really, really happy that you're willing to come on the show. So thank you so much for taking the
I
time and
appreciate it, man.
enjoy the beach, my man.
You got it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. Stay in touch. Hopefully, we can do
All
another one in
right.
the future.
You got it. Thanks.
All right, man. Take care.